Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Wide with Declan. As always, we will discuss NASCAR-related topics, so let's get right into it. Our first topic is potential sponsors leaving NASCAR. So there are three sponsors that could potentially be dropping out of NASCAR at the end of the 2024 season. Those are FedEx, Xfinity, and Geico. Out of the three, Geico has ended its title sponsorship, so it is backing out from NASCAR at the end of the 2024 season. Xfinity is the least. It will still be called the Xfinity Series in 2025, but maybe in years after, might not be called that anymore. And FedEx, who had 30 races on the 11 car for Denny Hamlin in 2022, reduced down to only 13 in 2023, and even less this year. With new title sponsor for the 11, Mavis Tire, which has made FedEx look less superior and no longer the title sponsor of the 11 team. I'd say Mavis Tire is the bigger and more loyal sponsor to that 11 car this season. So a lot of talk with sponsorship this week. And Joe Gibbs, due to poor funds, might have to back out FedEx completely at the end of the 2024 season. And with that, the playoff. And our second piece of news is the playoffs continue this week. The round of 12 begins. As an addition, it is the elimination round of 10 race for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and the start of the round of 12 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The NASCAR Cup Series round of 12 starts this weekend as well, as 12 drivers, the 4 drivers of the 16, Martin Truex Jr., Ty Gibbs, the Joe Gibbs duo of Martin Truex Jr. and Ty Gibbs both had speeding penalties in the Bristol race. Ty Gibbs got one at the end of Stage 1 and was never really able to recover, and Martin Truex Jr. got one late while running inside the top 5, and he wasn't able to pass any cars. And the other two, Brad Keselowski, had hard luck at Bristol, and in the entire playoffs. It's been a rough playoffs for the 6 teams so far, and Harrison Burton, who had a power steering issue and finished over 70 laps down. Well, from what everyone's playoff predictions had him as the most obvious first-round exit in playoffs history. So it's kind of a no-brainer. He got eliminated after Bristol. So Chase Briscoe, who barely squeaked his way through, finds himself seated 12th of 12 in the round of 12. Daniel Suarez, who was in a fierce battle with Ty Gibbs, was running 3 laps down in 30th place. Ty Gibbs was on the lead lap in 13th, but was quickly dropping back. Chase Briscoe ran inside the top 5 all night, but ended up dropping back and finishing 8th. He had a slow pit stop, was able to recover, however. Kyle Larson won the race. Joey Logano won the opening playoff race at Atlanta. And Chris Buescher, a non-playoff driver, won the race at Watkins Glen. So that doesn't do anything. That didn't do any shake up to the playoff bracket. So the round of 12 tracks are Kansas, Talladega, and the Charlotte Roval. Forever, this was viewed as the chaotic round, but now I'd say that the round of 16 was more chaotic this year, with the drafting track in Atlanta, the road course in Watkins Glen, and the world's fastest half mile, the last great Coliseum at Bristol Motor Speedway. So Kyle Larson finds himself as the top seed. Christopher Bell is the number 2 seed. And my weekend predictions. Some favorites for this race: Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, the spring winner, and now your long shot of the week, brought to you by Original Big Shot Bob's. We have Chris Buescher, I knew you saw this coming after what happened to Chris Buescher in this spring Kansas race. Lost the race by 1/1000th of a second. By 1/1000th of a second over Kyle Larson. That's going to be the biggest talk going into this weekend. An insane finish here in May. Obviously, the race start got pushed back 3 hours due to rain, but they ended up starting the race. And Jeff Gluck's was it a good race poll? The spring race here was the highest rated race. Chris Buescher, not normally known for doing anything on mile and a halves, qualified 12th, but made quick work of the cars in front of him and made his way. Actually won stage 2, but got a pit penalty. Came all the way back, was in third when the Kyle Busch caution came out. Took the lead on the restart, but ultimately got passed by Kyle Larson for the closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history here in the spring. Will we be able to recreate it? I do not think we'll be able to recreate how good this race was in the spring, but it wasn't really as good as many people said. Me, partially because I'm a Buescher fan, and I was very disappointed when they called Kyle Larson the winner of this race instead of my guy Chris Buescher. But it is what it is. Can't win them all. And that does it for this week on 4 Wide with Declan. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and bye for now.